With Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Cabe Harper is suing Elliot Milton in the amount of $772. Mr. Harper claims his ex-roommate stopped paying utilities and hogged the living room after an injury, and says it's time to pay up.
All rise. All parties raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
I do. Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated. In the matter of Cabe Harper versus Elliot Milton, you're suing him for $772. Tell me about it.
We equally share the power bill. We divvied up into 3 equal parts. When it comes to the power bill, for some reason, they did not want to pay their fair share. They owe me $772. Between the two of them, that's roughly $386 each.
So have you moved out?
I've moved out already.
And the power bill was in your name?
The power bill was in my name, and they are refusing to take any responsibility for this absurdity.
Okay. And that's why you're suing them today?
Your Honor, I left out a very important detail. Elliot plays soccer. He is a recreational soccer player, and during a scrimmage, he tore his ACL. And it was because of that he was sighted on the couch in the middle of our living room, creating a huge obstruction. We could not get anywhere.
A huge obstruction?
Indeed.
You couldn't get anywhere?
No.
You couldn't move around? What do you mean you couldn't get anywhere?
He was in the middle of everything. You know, I had
Is the couch in the middle of the living room?
They were okay with it.
Is the couch in the middle of the living room?
Indeed it is, Your Honor.
And so you couldn't move around him, is that what you're saying?
No. Look how
So
tall
you couldn't
he
put
is.
the couch over to the corner?
No.
Why?
I'm not strong enough, Your Honor.
The 3 of Go on. The 3 of you couldn't move the couch to the corner?
No.
Okay.
I didn't take up that much space.
Hey, I'm not listening to that crap. If you got a couch in the middle of the room and 3 people can't move the couch to the corner of the room or to a wall, against a wall in the room, and change the furniture around, and you're all college students, then just let it be like it is. I don't care, because that doesn't make any sense. Go on. Don't complain to me that he was in the middle of everywhere if you couldn't figure out a way to reconfigure that room. Go on.
Well, it was both Brennan and Elliot's genius idea to suggest, oh, well, maybe we should get an electric chair, a staircase chair, so that they could elevate themselves to other parts of the house. You see, Brennan here, Brennan over there, he lives on the 2nd floor with I. Elliot lives on the 3rd floor. He has the master bedroom. And since he tore his ACL, you know, he needs to get from place to place. And
so Elliot is on the 3rd floor, the master bedroom.
Yes, he is.
Brennan is on the 2nd floor, and you're on the 2nd floor.
Indeed.
And what's on the 1st floor? The living room, the kitchen, and all that stuff?
You got it.
Okay. But now, because he can't get up to the 3rd floor, he is on the couch in the living room area.
Yes.
And all of you young folks are having people over, and he's just messing up the cha-cha, right?
I can't have dates, Your Honor.
Right. That's what I meant by
get 'em
cha-cha.
anyway.
Okay. So you upset that you couldn't have dates because he's in the middle of the living room.
Bingo.
Well, let me hear from Elliot.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe I can tell the story a little bit better.
I doubt it.
Just don't cut him off while he's doing it.
So I believe I shouldn't have to pay my fair share of the utility bill because he didn't pay for his fair share of the chairlift.
How much did that chairlift cost?
$2,100 plus installation.
So, well, okay, so what's the total cost? $2,100 included installation?
Or, sorry, yes, Your Honor, including installation.
So that's $700 each.
Correct.
And you owe him $386.
Correct.
And you're saying he owes me $700.
Correct.
Okay, and you say the same.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so go on, tell me about it.
We had this rule in the house when we moved in 2 years ago that we would split everything evenly, and we had no problems with that up until now.
So did you all agree and have a discussion about buying this chairlift?
No.
We all agreed and talked about buying a chairlift, yes.
Did he agree to buying the chairlift?
Yes, he was in the discussion.
Liar. Liar.
He was in the
I
Did
never
two
said
of you
so.
agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you have a household agreement that you shared all expenses? You told me that.
Yes.
I certainly did.
Okay, so that's an expense. Go on.
We were all in discussion of it. So a week later,
But he can use the chairlift to get up to the second floor too, right?
yeah, I thought it would be a good idea for all of us.
And did you use the chairlift to get up to the second floor?
I never once used that chairlift in my life, Your Honor.
He's ashamed. He thinks it's for old people.
Did you use the chairlift, Mr. Miles, to get up to the second floor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was a great expense, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long were you on this chairlift?
Like, how long did it take to...
For you to get to the point where you could move around again and go upstairs to your room?
It only took a couple seconds, if that's what you're asking.
No, how many months were you down?
I was on...
Did he really say a couple seconds?
I misunderstood the question, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
How long were you immobile or limited mobility, which required you to stay on the first level?
The doctor told me about it would have been like a 9-month. I would have been in a cast. So this was during a couple weeks I was in the cast when we decided to get the
So
chairlift.
this was like right at the beginning?
Yes, because they were getting annoyed with my crowded living space.
All right.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
Majority rule, bar the chairlift, share expenses. So you were supposed to share in the expense.
I was moving out, Your Honor.
Well, if you was moving out, but you were there.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't
Okay.
need to say anything else.
And later,
I'm going past her, I put my hand on her back and I say, hey, are you okay? She turns around, she punches me in the face and then hits me with a left hook, knocks my tooth out.
we're back with the case of Cabe Harper, who is suing Elliot Milton for unpaid utility bills.
Now, what do you have to say, Mr. Miles?
Well, I'd just like to...
Come on up.
Okay. I'd just like to point out that I think it's childish that he thinks that we owe him money. And I'd also like to point out from what he said that he was the one who made the majority rule agreement in the first place. That was his
So
idea.
when the majority rule agreement went against him, he didn't like it.
Exactly.
Correct.
Mr. Harper,
Yes.
majority rule on everything else. Shared equal expenses on everything else. You're the one who needs access to your living room, so they gave you access to your living room and came up with a way to do that so that it wouldn't interrupt and interfere. So he can be upstairs in the third floor in his room.
Your Honor, they're immature. In fact, they found it hilarious. They told me it was hilarious. that
We're
they were-
immature.
They were like, look at us, we're going to be riding up and riding down like old people. They're making fun of the elderly, Your Honor.
So they have fun doing it. Your complaint is he's laying on the couch and it interrupts my ability to have a date night.
It sure does.
They come up with a plan and solution. The three of you discuss it, 2 against 1, whether you agreed or not. Majority rule, bar the chairlift, share expenses. So you were supposed to share in the expense.
I was moving out, Your Honor.
Well, if you was moving out, but you were there.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't
Okay.
need to say anything else. So, but the point is, right then and there, you in there, you have an agreement, you're sharing the place, and you're supposed to share the expenses. Now, since you're moving out, maybe they can do some adjustment or whatever, but you owe for the installation of the chairlift. $700 is your share. They owe you $772, but you really owe each of them $300 and some dollars. But you all gonna call this one? You and Mr. Milton and Mr. Miles? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have to reimburse you all as long as you don't have to pay him for
That's what I was just going to say. Yes.
I never once set my rear in that chair.
It doesn't matter.
That was your choice. Now, you better quit while you're ahead, because you really owe them.
No, I don't.
Okay, so then I just make my judgment.
You owe us money.
Judgment for the defendants, offset by the $386 the plaintiff owes the defendants. So you owe him $386. He owes you $700, which
You're
is...
making a mistake, Your Honor.
I'm making a mistake.
Yeah, you are.
Now, you really sound like a zip dang fool. Now, you standing up in my courtroom threatening me, talking about I'm making a mistake.
I do not owe them
Are you
anything.
telling me I'm making a mistake? What's that supposed to mean? What you gonna do now that I'm making a mistake?
I don't know.
What you gonna do?
I don't know.
So what does that mean? I'm making a mistake. Is that a threat of some kind?
No, that means that I'm being unjustly punished for their foolishness.
Well, that means that is my judgment, and I'm not making a mistake. You made a mistake by saying those words.
My apologies.
And you're going to do what my father taught us. You're going to keep on talking till you're going to write a check your butt can't cash.
Oh.
And we'll throw you out of here on your behind.
Ouch.
My apologies.
You're making a mistake. I'm not your child, and I'm not your friend, and I'm not your college roommate. You better get it straight.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go cry to one of your dates.
Hush. If I ask you to say anything, I don't need you to help me. Now, the utility bill is $772.96. Each is $386.
Correct.
You owe $700 to the two of them. All right? So, it's a wash. Judgment for the defendant.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
All of you are now dismissed.
And you're making the mistake not to pay the utility bill because it's in your name. It messes up your credit. You're making the mistake. Wait a minute. Hey, Will, bring him back. Bring him back.
Sir.
Did he throw me the finger sign?
Did he? No, I believe you a kiss, Your Honor.
Come on down here. Did you raise up your middle finger to me, young man?
No, 2 fingers. It's called a kiss. Bisou, French.
It's the same kind of kiss that says kiss my butt. Do it again. Now I'm going to charge you with contempt. And you ought to know another $1,000 to the court for your actions. I know what this means, kiss my butt. Now walk out of here and do something else.
The plaintiff has been fined $1,000 for contempt.
This is BS, buddy. You just robbed me blind.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. You brought us all to court and you lost. Tough luck. Have a good life.
Coming up,
I'm going past her. I put my hand on her back and I say, hey, are you okay? She turns around, she punches me in the face and then hits me with a left hook, knocks my tooth out.
Johnny Pierce is suing Fiona Pottinger in the amount of $560. Mr. Pierce claims he discovered his bandmate sleepwalking and says when he tried to help her, she punched him in the face.
The matter of Johnny Pierce versus Fiona Pottinger, you're suing her for $560?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me about it.
We're both in a band together that was having some mild success. And we had our first overnight gig out of Los Angeles in San Diego. The gig went phenomenal. We stayed at one of Fiona's friend's house that night that she had arranged. So I ended up having to sleep on the floor. I wake up, Fiona's in the kitchen, her hands are like kind of in the air in this like weird, awkward way. I don't really know what's going on. We had a few libations that night, so I go into the kitchen to get myself a glass of water and check on my bandmate. I'm going past her, I put my hand on her back and I say, hey, are you okay? And right when I say okay, she turns around, she punches me in the face and then hits me with a left hook. Knocks my tooth out. I go running into the bathroom. I go in, I pull my tooth out. There's blood all over the place. I leave because I know that you need to get that tooth back in your mouth as soon as possible.
Really?
And now you want her to pay the dental fee?
I want her to pay the overages for the
How much was it?
$560. It was
After insurance?
After insurance, yes, Your Honor.
So I gave everyone a heads up before I went to bed. Hey guys, I do have a sleepwalking issue. So
How long has this band been together?
It's like 6-7 months.
And this was the first time you all stayed together?
Well, we usually do local gigs, but he insisted on us going to San Diego, and
So we would get paid instead of having to pay to play.
Right.
Right.
Coming up,
Said, hey, leave her alone. I was whispering it. Next thing you know, she punches him, and he's
I'm
on
half
the
asleep too. Am I supposed to hear her whispering? I don't know what sleepwalking people do.
we're back with the case of Johnny Pierce, who is suing Fiona Pottinger for medical expenses.
You only made this announcement to people after the gig, you're tired, you've been drinking, and you're about to go to bed, and you say, I sleepwalked, don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, I admit to that, but I didn't think it was going to be that late night of a thing, to be honest. I thought I was...
You didn't know what it was going to be, right?
I didn't know at all what was going to happen, so it was...
How long have you been dealing with this sleepwalking condition?
2 or 3 times in my adult years, nothing too bad.
So just 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, just like little instances every once in a while.
So
nothing
then,
It's a minor thing. My friend Lydia can tell you. She was actually there that night and can tell you what happened.
So you don't know?
I mean, I woke up to him screaming, my tooth, and scrambling to the bathroom.
Let me hear from the witness, Ms. Jacobs.
I was sleeping in the same house that night. I also was woken up by the ruckus that she was making, and I go in there and I see him trying to get in front of her and saying, Fiona, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, hey, leave her alone. I was whispering it because I didn't want to startle her, because I don't know what she's going to do if she gets startled. So he proceeds to try to wake her, Next thing you know, she punches him, and he's
I'm half asleep too. Am I supposed to hear her whispering? I don't know what sleepwalking people do.
Okay, sit down. Now, you may have been sleepwalking.
Yeah,
Nevertheless, you still hit him and hurt him and caused him some pain and discomfort and a bill.
Yeah, no, I did apologize to him when I found out what happened. It took me a while because everything happened so quickly. Next thing I knew, he was out the door, and I was still waking up, and she told me, you know, well, what happened.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns.
When he told you and said I had to go get my tooth repaired, why are we here?
I mean, no, I did own up to it. I did try to talk to him about it, and because we did have band issues, as you can tell, we've had little fights about everything. So I tried to get to the bottom of it because I did think, well, maybe I did punch him for a reason, but you know.
Subconsciously you did or didn't?
Well, maybe subconsciously I wanted to. I don't know. This is a weird stress-related thing, the sleepwalking. I also
but that night you were stress-related? You just said you guys had a great performance. You're talking about how wonderful he did, how wonderful you did. Where's the stress?
I mean, there had been band tension for a while. He's trying to change the style of the music a few times, and she's my...
So now you're trying to tell me you hit him deliberately?
I mean, I didn't hit him deliberately, honestly, but I just kept wondering what brought this on. And
did you tell her how I was voted most punchable face in the band a week earlier?
Well, that was by the
you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Judgment for the plaintiff and God out my courtroom. That's what I'm going to tell you. Get out my courtroom right now. Judgment for the plaintiff.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $560.
Deliberate or not, you punched me in the teeth, and I'm glad you have to pay for it.
I told you I was sorry I hit you, and yes, I will pay you back.